So we have three folks, Jenna, Sarah, and Bill, and they're keeping track of their weight. And they're in particular, they're keeping track of their weight over a month. And right over here we have their weight change over the month. So if you take their ending weight and from that you subtract their starting weight, so let me just write that. That's your end weight minus your starting weight. That's going to be your change in weight over that month. And so we have the change in weights here. So Jenna's change in weight is -3 pounds, which means that she lost weight. Sarah's change in weight is +2.5 pounds, which means she gained 2.5 pounds. And then Bill's weight, or change in weight, I should say, is +4 pounds, which means he gained 4 pounds over the month. So given that, let's answer some questions. Who lost the most weight? Who had the largest change in weight? And who had the smallest change in weight? And I encourage you to pause the video and try to work through it on your own. Well, let's just plot all of these on a number line here to help us think through it. Although some of you might already have an answer here. So Jenna's weight change is -3 pounds. So that's Jenna right over there. I'll say J for Jenna. Sarah's weight change, and she had a weight gain, is 2.5 pounds. So that's right over there, +2.5 pounds for Sarah. And then finally, Bill gained 4 pounds. So that is Bill right over there. Now let's answer the question, who lost the most? So when we talk about lost, where we care about directions, we said, hey, who moved most to the left of 0? Well, Sarah and Bill didn't move to the left of 0 at all. They gained weight. That's why they're to the right of 0. Jenna's the only person who lost anything. So the person who lost the most is Jenna. Now, who had the largest change? And if we're thinking about the largest change, one way to think about it is who is the furthest away from 0? So one way to think about it is, which of these has the largest absolute value? Well, the absolute value here, the absolute value of -3 is, and let's see, we could just call this the absolute change. Absolute change is just going to be the absolute value. Absolute value of -3 is +3. Absolute value of 2.5 is 2.5. Absolute value of, let me make this a little bit clearer. Absolute value of 4, well, is just equal to 4. So who had the largest absolute change? Well, Bill had the largest absolute change, and then second place was actually Jenna. She lost weight, but she had a pretty big change. She had a 3-pound change, although it was a 3-pound loss. Bill's was a 4-pound gain. But the largest change is definitely Bill. Now, who had the least change? Well, another way to think about it, this is the least absolute change. Who changed the least from 0? Well, if you look at here, Sarah had the smallest absolute change. Jenna lost weight. So the weight change of Jenna, she has -3 versus Sarah's +2.5. But if we talk about who had the least change from 0, if your weight change was 0, that means you didn't gain or lose weight from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. So who had the least change? Well, that's the least absolute change. Well, we see that right over here. 2.5 is less than 3 or 4. So the least change is Sarah. And we're done.